Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. We have a question that came in customer service, and this one came in from a long way. It's from BB Lassard, and he goes on to say, I have had your videos for some time, and I thought I had an understanding of the concepts and played okay. The swing is simple, right? So you only need to pay attention and practice. Well, our season here in Norway, so BB is just getting going up there, and I guess he's put up his skis and all those other winter things and got out his golf clubs and got the cobwebs off him and getting going, and he brings up some good points. Well, our season here in Norway started a few weeks ago, and I was pushing my shots 5, sometimes 10 yards wide of target. Thus, I went back to school and noticed that I had missed or forgot many details. This time I really paid attention and are hitting straight, longer shots again, on average 1 club difference. So thanks, and to everyone, make sure you really pay attention to the details. You will be rewarded. Could not be much better said, BB. I appreciate those words of wisdom, because they are extremely good words of wisdom. And why is that important? Well, there's basically the 2 types of details. There's the details about your setup, and then the details about your swing motion. Okay, so it's a twofold thing. So that's why, like, when I give a golf lesson and I do my write-up for folks, and after I do my diagnosis and see and make my evaluations as to what's happening, what's in your setup, good, bad, or ugly, and then in your swing, again, good, bad, or ugly, the first thing we always highlight, the first thing I always write down is what I call pre-swing thoughts. That's about what you need to focus on in your setup. And why is the setup important? The setup is important because of the number 1 Sergism. The setup determines the motion. All right? And what does that really mean? It means that how your body moves is predetermined by the position in which you place it to make the motion. In other words, the position you're in gets the muscles activated, energized, ready to move. And in this case, when all of those things happen, where they're activated, energized, and ready to move, if you're in the proper posture, they're ready to be able to move in the correct positions and motions and points to make a good swing, to hit a good shot, solid and straight. Now, a good setup doesn't guarantee you're going to have a good swing, because then the other half of the equation is that you make the proper swing movements or motions. All right? So it doesn't guarantee those motions, but it gives you the chance, because the muscles are primed and ready to be able to move that way if you do it. All right? So we got the pre-swing moves, and then we got the in-swing moves. So one of the words I always use, and you've heard me say it many, many times, if not 1,000 times, and I'm going to say it right now. When you talk about paying attention to details, I like to really, really bring it to a head by saying you must have technical excellence. That's the word I use with DJ all the time. Technical excellence, T-E. Technical excellence in your setup, and then technical excellence in your swing. You want technical excellence in everything. The more technically you are excellent, the better chance you have of making that correct golf swing and hitting the good shots that you want to hit. And the technical excellence applies to everything you do, from just trying to hit your normal setup and swing, to hit your normal shot, say that would be straight, to when you need to want to hit a little bit of a draw, a little bit of a cut. Your technical excellence means you have to make setup adjustments to create a change in path adjustments, or even just change your swing, your club face, to have the ball worked right or left. All of that's contained in the situational shots video and learning to shape the shots, the video about shaping shots and working the ball video. Okay, but the point I want to just get here is overall the technical things of setup and swing that you have to hit a ball relatively straight. I want to just go on to say this story. As you all know, the Jack Moore, who did the putting video with me about the putting secret of E. Harvey Ward, Jack lives in Charlotte, and he goes hunting a lot with DJ, and DJ not only hunts with guns, but he really loves to hunt with an arrow. And with arrows, and in fact, he just shot an elk last year that is a runner-up to the world record in the span of the horns and everything else, and he shot it with a bow. And so Jack decided that he was going to start learning how to shoot a bow, and he told me a couple weeks ago that he just went to a bow shop, in Charlotte that sells bows and equipment and training, and he ran into a young man. I think he said he was 18, 19 at the most, and as a sales clerk, and they got to talking, and guess what? This guy is like the U.S. national longbow champion, and I think he might have even won a world record. 18 and 19 years old. And they started talking, and Jack said, wow, that's unbelievable. You got the national championship at 18 years old, and or whatever he is, and I think the world championship. And he said, that's unbelievable. And the young man says, yeah, he said, but the only thing I really think about is, and are you ready for this? Put your seatbelts on. He said, all I think about is technical excellence in my setup, drawing the string back and releasing it. He said, technical excellence in the setup all the way to drawing the string back and releasing the arrow. Technical excellence is everything. He says, if you want to be good at anything, you have to have technical excellence. And Jack just picked the phone up right then and called me, standing in front of this man. I got to say hello to him. And he said, Serge, you ain't going to believe what this young man just said. He took the words right out of your mouth. Technical excellence. And so I think one of the things I always like to say a lot is I hear many times that players say, oh, I'm a field player. And I don't get too much caught up in fundamentals and everything else. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. You can't have your feel for your correct swing if you first are not in your correct setup. And then if you are in your correct setup, the only way you'll have your correct feel for the swing is if you are swinging correctly for what creates that feel. And so I think that when they just go into that mode, they're going to have trouble because they're trying to rely on just letting it happen, so to speak. And I think you all remember the old bumper stickers that used to come out about, starting with an S and 4 letters, happens, all right? That stuff happens because you're not paying attention to details. You are not paying attention to technical excellence. And I want to just reiterate it again here. Technical excellence is not only your setup, it is the technical excellence of the motion that your body has to move to make the swing you want. And body movement means muscle movement. And that means you got to have the right messages in your brain. There's no such thing as muscle memory. It is mental memory. It's the brain that sends the directions to trigger the muscles to move at the right time in the right way to do the right things. So you have to have the picture of your swing in your mind, the feeling of your swing in your mind, so that your mind can trigger those muscles to create that feeling, but they can never happen if you're not set up properly to begin with. So, BB, great job. You went back to basics. You got the book out, I guess. You went to the videos. You started watching. You reinvigorated yourself and re-energized yourself and put those thoughts back in your mind. You went out and had immediate results. Technical excellence, TE, setup and swing. Do those things, you'll be hitting it much more solid, straight, and longer. So golf is not an accident. Good shots are not an accident. They just don't happen, and they just don't happen by I'm a field player. They happen because you create it by technical excellence to eventually, in your setup and swing, to create the feel. And as you know, what's our big motto about practice swings? Feel the swing, and once you feel that swing, you get into your technically excellent setup and swing that feel, and you'll be popping bullseyes too. All right, that's it for the Surge for today, and I'll be talking to you all again soon.